Hey friends, Pamela here with Passionate About Scrapbooking, your Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from the Texas Hill Country in Fredericksburg, Texas. Welcome to Restoring Joy Through Creativity. I've got some crazy animals going on over here because I think Jeff's about to walk through the door. So I'm going to do a little introduction and then we'll go back to my desk and get started creating. So if you're joining me, please be sure to give me a thumbs up, say hello, let me know where you're viewing from so that I know everything is working properly. Hey, Debbie, hope you're doing well this evening. Thanks for commenting. And let's see. So I'm hoping that I'm live on YouTube and Instagram and Facebook. I'm going to kind of look around here a little bit. I'm not sure what's happening. There we are. So you should be able to see me on Instagram. Just double checked. But if you want to see the full landscape mode, hop on over to YouTube. And let me check out my Facebook. So tell me what you've been up to. Have you been doing anything creative, Debbie? I'm excited for tomorrow too. I hadn't forgotten this week. All right, everything looks good, so I'm going to minimize all that, cancel out of some of this stuff I have. I was printing photos, and I think the only thing I haven't completely finished is my journaling, but I think that'll be okay. So say hello if you're joining me. I see a few others, but I don't know who you are. Just making sure everything's working properly. So I'm going to go ahead and flip the camera to my workspace so that I can jump up and let animals in and out. Maybe. Ladybug gets so excited when Jeff gets home. And I think he's supposed to be on his way. I was just looking outside and it's kind of looking a little rainy looking out there. I don't know what the plan is for the weather, but well, goodness, I've got some stuff stuck over here. Oh, well, I guess I'll just leave it. All right, so I'm excited to play some more with this beautiful Autumn Toile collection. And I'll show it to you here in the catalog in just a second. So far this week, I have created 2 cards and a scrapbook page. I'm not even sure I know where my scrapbook page is. Let's see. Yeah, I really don't know what I did with it, to be honest. Let's see. I don't know. You'll just have to go check out my social media. It's probably stuck in the back of my, look at that pretty paper. This is my absolute favorite paper out of this collection. It's not even in there, so I don't know where I put it. So again, just check out my social media if you want to see my page I made for my Make It Monday video, and there's a process video on it too on YouTube. Hello, Jane. How are you doing? Hope you're doing well. And Kimberly. If you're on Instagram, you may not be able to see the full 2 12 by 12 pages. So join me over on YouTube. There's a link in my bio if you want to follow along. So this is the card that I created on Monday for Mail It Monday. It's a hop that I do with fellow artisans. And really had fun doing this one and doing some coloring. So we're going to do some of that today. And I grabbed some of the same papers and colors with a little tiny bit variation, but I just really liked the bold, rich colors in this. And then I did this one for Tuesday, I guess. And oh, it was for the Global Project Design, I think that's what it's called, challenge using the arches. So I grabbed my everyday arches out and then did some more coloring with my Stampin Blends, except that time it was the acorns. So we'll do a little bit of that. I think that's where I'm going to bring the boldness into my 12 by 12 scrapbook layout. So we'll be doing a little bit of coloring, but most everything else is prepped. So we should be good there. And other than the coloring, it shouldn't take a ton of time. Let me turn to page 39 of the September through December 2025 catalog, mini catalog. So I think we have these come out 2 times a year. I'm pretty sure that's accurate. And so Autumn Toile, it's got a lot of neat stamps and dies. It's actually one of the big mega suites because it has 2 bundles in it. So you've got the amber autumn along with the autumn trees. I'm going to move this out of the way, see if we can get a little bit clearer here. And you've got the dies that coordinate with all of them. We've got the designer series paper. It's a little bit different than our other designer series paper packs because it just has 4 different designs front and back, but you'll get a total of 3 of each of these papers. And then we have this weave, irregular ribbon weave. That's really neat. And I've even colored it with my Stampin Blends. I did that on my card right here. And then there it is, just used naturally. I'm not sure if and how I'm going to use it today. We'll see when we get there. Then you've got some really gorgeous streaked dots. I have to show these. These are some of my favorite ones. They look like wood. They're so pretty and rich. Love them. Then there's also some, what is it called? Earthen toned metallic specialty paper. Let me see if I can find it for you here. A scrap of it. So you can kind of see it's kind of a brownsy bronze look. Super gorgeous. And what else? I think that's it. So also what's really cool in the catalog, you can find the catalog, a digital form of it, on my website at passionateaboutscrapbooking.stampinup.net. And it has the one sheet wonder here. So this is what I made all my cards from a few weeks back. And then I designed my own. I used these designs, but tweaked them a little bit using the products that I used, which I use different products. Then you can see that this works really well too with different types of home decor. So anyways, if you weren't aware, all of our stamp sets, so stamps but not dies, only stamp sets, and some of our stamp tools are 15% off today only. It was a 24-hour sale. I think it started right after midnight this morning and it'll go through 11:59, I guess, p.m. Mountain Time. And so if you like these stamps right here, grab the stamp sets. You can get them 15% off. And then if you want the coordinating dies, you'll just pay full retail for those. But all of our stamps, some of the tools that are 15% off are the chamois, the blocks. I'm trying to remember what else that was in there. You might check. I can't remember if the silicone mat or the foam sheet was on there, but there's a few things that are also 15% off only through tonight. So if you have questions about that, there's links in the description. Yes, I absolutely love this suite. I really wasn't sure about it at first. I actually got the entire suite as my artisan design team assignment product for October. So I'm currently working on my project that'll actually go live like the first week of October using this suite of products. So it'll be something different than what I've shared this week. I just wanted to bust into it and get creative with it so that I could be ready to do my assignment. That always helps me when I start playing with things a little bit. All right, so I've got all my photos. I have a bunch of photos. I've got my title all prepped here. I'm going to set that over to the side. And I think I'm only going to use the Amber Autumn bundle. So we'll keep that close at hand. Have my papers all cut. Look at this. I even made a stencil out of the die right here from some acetate. I'll show you how I use that. We may use it a little bit more. So I'm going to set it over here as well. And we are going to be doing a little bit of coloring here in a few minutes. I'm going to set that behind my photos because that'll be like the last thing that I do. So if you have any questions at all, be sure to drop them into the comments and I'll try to keep an eye on the comments. Let's get started. So we're not wasting any time. I think I have everything. I don't. Yeah, I do have this one. I use these removable glue dots just to hold down my paper. I'm not doing any particular treatment to my very vanilla two-tone cardstock. This is the light side of the two-tone cardstock. So sometimes you really need two pieces to be able to see the difference because it's real subtle on this very vanilla. And I have a couple of pieces of Cajun Craze two-tone cardstock along with that metallic specialty paper. All right, so I am doing, let me find it, see if I have it laying over here. The Creative Design Team, if you have not heard about them, they are a group of demonstrators. They have YouTube channels and they're on Instagram, Facebook, and they just came out with a new Wonder and Remember a Scrapbooker's Guide to Capturing Your Travels. I grabbed it because I really wanted the sketches that were in here. So I'm using one of their sketches. I wanted to give a shout out to them. So you can go check out the creative design team for that. This one is especially for capturing your travels, but they have, I didn't count how many, probably 10 sketches in here. Let me see if I can, yeah, about 10 sketches. So I think I'm doing sketch number 1. I really loved, no, I'm not. Yeah, I am. Layout number 1. So sketch number 1 is the one I chose to do. I was inspired by Jama Mommy. So here are the pieces that I cut, and I've already gone and done some ink edging on all of them. We're going to just lay them out here. I think I kind of have them in the order I want. You'll see like this one was cut right from there. So I'm going to put that one next. I'm going to lay them out and then I will adhere them all. And then I just incorporated a couple of the different patterns from the back. So that one should line up with that. And then we're going to do the same thing think these got flipped over, so let's see. So we're going to be creating borders on both sides. Let's see. I flipped this one so it kind of mirrored each other. And then I think that's the same. I think that goes there. And then this one and that one. Okay, so let's get these down on the page. I'm going to start from the bottom just because I can see it a little bit better. And then by the time we get up to the top, I shouldn't have to line it up too well. It should line up just perfectly. Now, if you're going to do the ink distressing like I did on the edges, be sure you set your paper aside for just a little bit so the ink will dry and you won't smudge any of the paper right here, whether it's white willow or the berry vanilla. And it's just going to stair step right up here. Now, in their samples, they were using almost a different pattern on every one. I wanted to bring in more of this pumpkin patch design because I just really loved it. I'm doing a Thanksgiving dinner page. I think I already have to change that out. It felt like it was done. So let's see. Yep, pretty much. All right, give me 1 second. Never fails, right in the middle of a live. Let's see. So did anybody share what they've been doing lately? How have you been creative? I would love to hear what you've been working on. Anyone doing Christmas cards yet? Now would be a great time to grab one of those or brand new Christmas sets, stamp sets, because you can get it 15% off. All right, I think we're good. Back on track. I'm just trying to line it up right here and along the edge. This particular sketch is going to be heavily focused on photos, which is kind of cool. So it'd be great for holidays, birthdays, Christmas, travel, of course. That's why they created the sketch. So Jeff hasn't showed up yet. So I'm guessing he may have stopped by his parents' house, which is fine. All right, now I'm going to adhere this 1/2 inch by 12-inch piece of Cajun Craze. This is the dark side. I have also edged it with a little bit of early espresso ink. So you're just breaking up that border with a contrasting color. I chose to bring in the Cajun Craze. Really love how it pops, helps the pumpkins pop there. And then I wanted to bring in a little bit of this metallic specialty paper. So I'm doing a 1/4 inch by 12-inch strip of it right here. So we're just building up the base. Next, we'll put photos down and then we'll know where our title will go and where our clusters will go. Look how pretty that is. Ah, Jane said it's springtime. I always forget that. Let's see. Jane just got a Christmas stamp set with the little Santa. Yes, those are going to be so cute. The Santa and the elves. And I know Debbie's already made some Christmas cards. All right, so yeah, we're about to enter fall here. We're just right on the edge of it in about a week, officially fall. Weather-wise, not so much here in the Texas Hill Country. All right, we're still almost, yeah, like in the 90s. It's like, ugh. All right, so I have a big family portrait photo here. And then I did a collage of a lot of the food that we had for Thanksgiving. And so there's two 4x6 photos. The mats are 4x6, and then the photos were cut down just a little bit to fit inside there. And I think I've kind of got them laid here how I want to put them on the page. So there's our turkey. We were at my mom's house this year. This was in November of 2023. If you scroll through my Instagram, I've recently scrapbooked this photo, and I feel like I did this one too, and maybe the pumpkin, not the pumpkin pie, the pecan pie down here. All right, so our photos are going to be similar to this. So we're going to end up with like a photo journaling area here, or it might just be like the title area, I'm sorry. And then journaling may end up going down here with a little cluster. So we can kind of do a cluster like this. That's our triangle effect right there. So what I need to decide for sure is, do I want to add a little space in between? I think what I decided I would do, may do like quarter of an inch from the bottom, quarter inch, and that would make a quarter inch. So I'd get quarter inch borders right there. I may do that one about right there. So I'm thinking I wanted to come right to the edge. So about right there. Just want to make sure this is overlapping here. So I think I will put them, I had thought about putting them all together like this. Well, it does go right to the edge there now. Now that I've got it on the page, I might do that, but let me decide real quick. Quarter inch, quarter inch. All right. So I think I'm going to spread them out. I'll spread these out and these out, just barely like that. So it'll look kind of uniform. All right, so let's get these on the page. I'm just putting them all down straight to the page. I'm going to start it, have a quarter inch border right up here. We'll just do one side at a time. So you can already get lots of photos on here, like I mentioned, but you could also add flip flaps. So then you could add even more photos. And I probably could have done that. I have tons of photos, but I've created several other pages already of this event. So I think I'll have a nice variety. And I've tried to use different photos. Pretty sure I haven't done one of the full group. So this was family and friends. There were a few couples that, maybe just one couple that was one of Mom's family friends, her best friend, here right in the middle, Cheryl and Roland, and then my my side of the family, and then my brother's side of the family. All right, so just keep going down the page. So what do y'all think of all these photos? Hello, Lisa. Thanks for joining me. Oh, Lisa's planning her December daily. I love doing those. I just don't ever actually finish them. I think I finished one before. We did a album retreat a couple of years ago with Close to My Heart. That was a full Christmas album. I did complete that one. So I'm super proud of myself for that. But the daily ones are really hard for me to keep up with. I always have good intentions, but I rarely ever follow through. All right, so there are our photos. Now the sketch, I can't show it to you. You have to buy the PDF from the creative design team, but it was actually kind of flipped. These were over here with the title here. These were shifted over this way, but I liked how Jay Mamalmi shifted them around a little bit. Excuse me. Let me grab something to drink. All right, so from here, we just need to do our titles and make some clusters. And I'll show you where I'll probably do my journaling. So I've got the word give, and let me tell you what I did to get this treatment on there, because this is cardstock. And I'll lift it up. Let me find. So I used the Cajun Craze two-tone cardstock. I did use the dark side. And then I took, before I cut the words out, I took it's about 4.5 by 5.5 piece of Cajun Craze. And I cut this out using the die that's in the die set, did it with acetate. I laid this on the cardstock and then just sponged Cajun Craze ink around on it. And then I cut it out with the party alphabet dies. So it gave me this tone on tone treatment, which I really love how that turned out. I'm going to grab some of these mini dimensionals and we're going to pop these up. So this may take just a second. I got to keep an ear out for the chicken I have in the oven. I mean, we'll have to jump up and pull it out probably in the middle of this. I didn't get it started early like I had planned on it. And I almost didn't do it, y'all, but I knew that if I didn't, Jeff wouldn't have anything to eat for dinner in a little while. Neither would I. So I need to get a little bit better at planning. I'm going to put one there, one here. Try not to go like super crazy with my dimensionals. It might look like I do, but all right, make sure those are on there good. So I really appreciate you joining me here live because I'm only doing this once a week now. I decided to change up my schedule a little bit. Life had thrown us some few curveballs. All right, I think I have to go check the chicken. I think I'm going to do this one first. I'll give it a minute. I know it's okay. But the timer's going off. I think I just need to go turn the heat off and we'll be good. All right, so I'm going to put it right up real close to this, like that. All right. So my stamping studio is right off the kitchen because it is technically a kitchen nook that I took over I have these awesome windows over here, like, oh, a third of the room, the whole wall over here, and then a little bit over here. And then there's a door to the backyard, so the animals go in and out. So if you joined me when I was doing Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 10 a.m., you know that there's a lot of getting up and letting animals in and out. I've actually got the door open right now, so Ladybug, our dog, could go in and out. All right, let me see if I can get this lined up. I'm going to keep it pretty close. What do y'all think of that texture on there? I really love it. All right, I'm gonna maybe come down a little bit. Let's see if I can get it straight. All right, I think I did good. And I think I'll have just enough room for this one. All right, give. Now I have somewhere, at least I had it. I don't know what I ended up doing with it. Oh, actually, no. That was another page I was working on. The one y'all don't know, y'all can't see yet. So in my printer, I have printed out a verse here. Now it's okay. Yeah, I've got more of my title over there. I'm getting confused with my other page. I keep jumping back and forth between projects. So I've got give thanks in all circumstances, for this is the will of God in Christ Jesus for you. 1 Thessalonians 5:18. So I'm going to cut these into strips here in just a minute, and they're going to go like right over in here. But before we do that, let's finish our title, since I remembered what I was going to do. So now I've got some of the mini alphabet letters in early espresso. So it's give thanks. Let me find all my letters. We're going to do give thanks always. Just happens to have the same number of letters, top and bottom. Okay, S. So kind of lay it out here, and then I'll glue it on here. There we go. All right. So let me decide where I want it exactly. I think I'll push it up to that line right there. And the quickest way to get these little letters on there, if you're not using adhesive sheets, is just to use your silicone mat. I'm going to start with this one right here, so I can kind of line it up with that photo right there. And then I can do the bottom row and then work on the top row. You can see that I'm getting that straight-ish. All right, so we'll work through that. And so where's everybody from? I know Jane is in Australia. Debbie's here in Fredericksburg, Texas with me. And then Christine, she just hopped on, maybe hopped off already. She's in Australia. So it's dinner time here in the Texas Hill Country. I guess it's about 6:45 by now. All right, now I can just line up this one with the bottom row. Because again, like I said, it's got the same number of letters. We would rather be crafting than cooking. Amen to that. I actually cook dinner almost every night of the week unless we have leftovers. We rarely eat out. So I've gotten pretty good at planning it accordingly. All right, so it was little, I think it 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Yeah, I just got this one a little tighter. All right, so give thanks always. Then let me cut this up. Those mini alphabets always have a little bit of stuff coming off of them. I printed, let me see here. Yeah, I think I printed it on two-tone cardstock. I wasn't sure if I was doing two-tone or the regular very vanilla. I want to keep them pretty skinny. So I'm trying to cut close to the highest and the lowest letter. And featuring a verse for your scrapbook page, especially for giving thanks. You will always find some really good verses about being thankful in the Bible, along with um, you can find some great things for Christmas, of course. All right, I'm looking for my scissors that I used a little while ago. At least I thought I did. I may have to grab my big scissors. Are they sitting here? And I see them. Found them. And then I can trim off this part. So I'm trying to decide if I'm going to ink them up a little bit. I think I will, because I want to kind of put it over here, not right in here necessarily. Maybe move it over just a little bit. But I want it right in here. And I think that'll just help it pop a little bit. So be careful. I'm going to just tap it like this. And it gives just a little bit of ink on the edges. Kind of have to be careful when you're doing these skinny strips. Just 2 or 3 taps. If I want a little bit more, I'll tap it a couple more times. And I'm doing all 4 edges. So far, I got just a little ink on me. Not a ton, but you do have to be careful because the ink is wet. And when you add a little bit of ink to the edges like that, it helps, like the Designer Series Paper Pop. It'll help this kind of pop off as well. I'm going to bring this in so that I can get some adhesive on the back. And guess I'll get, so I put it in the right order. I've been known to not get my journaling in the right order. Give thanks in all circumstances. So let's do about right there. For this is the will of God. And I like to kind of go back and forth, kind of a zigzag. I just feel like it gives it a little extra character. All right, I just like that right there. All right, now it is time. I guess I still need this because we're going to do a little bit of coloring. Let me see what I've got here. I've already started on this one. So I think I'm going to do something right up here. And then I'll have some journaling down over here, I think, with a cluster. I may do some of the ribbon. I'm probably going to keep my clusters just limited mostly to the stamped images. And then I think I'll color this one to put it over here. I don't know. Do I want it here? Maybe I want it down here, and then this will go up here, maybe. I feel like it might be too heavy if I have both of them up there. All right, so let me do some coloring and show you how I did these. I'm going to do it upside down using my dark Cajun Craze to start with. And I'm also going to put on some readers so that I can see a little bit better, I think. I'm missing people's messages. It wasn't scrolling up. Let me clean my readers real quick. Rochelle lives in Utah. And then TNT Talbot is in Idaho. We have some, everybody's kind of scattered all over the place. We have YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. All right, so I'm going to use the bullet point, and I'm just going to create some darkness down at the bottom, kind of outline. See where those little, let's do this. I don't do this very often, but we'll zoom in just a little bit extra. Let's see if that works. Can y'all see that okay? I hope so. Let me know if you like seeing it a little bit closer. I kind of like to outline because you see those little dark areas? That's kind of where I want. Not all my dark lines have to be there, but I'll go on the lines here as well, up the veins, I guess. I don't know what you call the parts of the pumpkin like that. And I'm going to do dark right here around the stem. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and do this one too. We'll go up. So you could go along all those areas. And I like the bullet part, add a little extra. I don't know if the readers are really helping me that much or not. Anyone else have to grab readers to do this? Okay, and then we can just kind of, I am not like a professional colorer. I'm still kind of learning, trying to take hints and tips from my fellow artisan team members. Some of them are so good. at coloring their images with these Stampin Blends. I'm loving my Stampin Blends more and more. All right, and then I'm going to just swirl this around, not all the way to the edge, but close. This is the light. Can you see that okay? Is it blurry? Let me know. Closer is good for me on my phone. It looks kind of funny on my screen. Okay, so this is considered the light Cajun craze. Then I'm going to go back in, kind of look at it so far. You could leave it just like that if you wanted to. That's a pretty shading. You know what? And I just might just leave it that way because I am going to go back right here. I still have this other one. What did I do with it? This one? Yeah, I need to finish this one too if we're going to have two of them. And then a little bit of the light. But you can go a little bit darker, do a little bit more. If you want to pull a little bit of the color away, you could take the color lifter and lighten some areas. Maybe you're good and say, let's just see what happens. If the light's shining right in here somewhere, you could take some color out. I might go all the way up a little bit more, but I'm not that great with that yet. So I'm just going to do that one. And then actually, I would probably go back and color over a little bit more with the light. I'm pretty sure I got the light. Maybe you have some white gel pens. You could add some highlights to it. But this is what we have so far. I did choose to bring in some of the soft sea foam. Let's look at this as our example. So you could do the light. I think if you do the dark first, it's probably better, but let's see how I did this one. So yeah, this was a good opportunity to show you a tutorial of how I colored these, just the tips. Because I was just trying to do what kind of similar to what they're doing. Oh, you can't even see. I'm pointing over here to the designer series paper, but you'll see it in a minute. I did a couple of areas right in here. There's like a stem. And then bring in the light mossy meadow. I'm trying to decide if I'm going to do the I'm going to go over again with the light or the soft sea foam. So I really just want the dark color. I think that's how I did it. Just barely coming from the pumpkins. I think that's good. And then let's take that soft sea foam brush one more time and we can kind of blend it out a little bit. If you wanted to throw in a little bit of Cajun Craze in there, you could. So this time over here, we'll do the dark first. So just kind of right there. Around I'm going to do the bullet point tip on this one. Just a couple of those little areas where there's skinny little leaves. Oop, there's one too. And then take your light, like the bullet point, and color over top of the dark out to the tip. And then it blends it out pretty easily. If you find yourself accidentally coloring out of the lines, which I do on a fairly regular basis, then you can grab that color lifter and push that color back in there. Okay, and then our next one is light. I'm just gonna do the dark. We're gonna keep this one simple to do the stem. We don't have an early espresso stamping blend. And now that the Stampin' Right markers are being discontinued, we don't even have that. So you would just use this early espresso, pecan pie dark, and go over it a couple of times, and you pretty much get early espresso, but you have to go over it like 2 or 3 times, I think. I'm going to keep that pretty simple. And then even though the color's not in the Suite collection, I did grab, I think it's my Daffodil Delight. I'm just barely trying to touch this. And we'll go here. So use the Daffodil Delight for the corn. You can see it right there. So really, I didn't do any special coloring on it, just fill it in with a little bit of the light Daffodil Delight. Or if you wanted to get really crazy, you could make it, I don't remember what they call that kind of corn. The color for corn? Indian corn? Is that what they call it? Anybody know? I only see one little spot here. A little leaf, I think, right there. I think I did that with the light, but I couldn't even see it. All right, that's it. So I'll cut this out in just 1 second, and then let's do this real fast. I'm gonna do the kind of the same thing. So we'll have pops of Cajun Craze. I'm gonna outline this with the dark. This is how I did my second card. This one. It was a little darker though, I felt like. So I might try to be a little careful and maybe not get it quite as dark. I'm only gonna do one of these. I'm really not doing very well. Let me go in the direction that I can see better. My wonderful contacts have not been being so wonderful lately. Just following the outline of this one, the sleeve from there. Yeah, if I pull toward me, I can see a little bit better. And then I'm going to follow these veins with the dark. Maybe add in just a little bit. See that shading? Just add in a little bit of extra color right in those areas. Do the same thing on this one. A little bit of extra color. And then we can take the light. Should be able just to take the brush end and fill in now. There's a couple of little areas here that should be left open, I think, but I'm not brave enough to try to add any green in here to make it look like, let's see, I can't tell. Looking at it in this direction. Yeah, I'm afraid to try to bring in green and so forth in there. All right, so I think that's all shaded. That is part of the tree. So let me, or the leaf right there, and just a little hint right back there. All right, I think that's, whoops, where's the, I don't even know what I did with them. These glasses are making my eyes burn. Okay, and then light, I'm gonna make sure I do the bottom part light. I think it's about time for a new pecan pie set of Stampin Blends. I think Jeff's here. I heard a door. He snuck in a different way, I think. Okay, and then take your dark. I'm going to use just the bullet point. I'm going to do the whole stem on the acorn. I'm going to come back and go a little bit more on here, and that'll just make it even that much darker. And then even the stem right there. All right, so those are my pieces. I do need to cut this one out real quick. So let's grab our piece, our die. And I think I'm not doing any of those little leaves or anything. So let's line it up on here. Let's see. I'm looking right up here. I'll move it this way just a smidge. I think that's good. All right, I'm gonna just do this off camera real quick for time's sake. And then we'll zoom back out. And yes, Debbie said it was Indian corn. We used to have at the church I went to back close to my hometown, we used to do a pumpkin patch every year at the church. All right, so there we've got those two pieces. All right, let me see if I can zoom back out real quick. See, let's move over a smidge and down. That'll work. Okay. The only thing I think I might do, you could get really crazy kind of with the clusters if you wanted to, But we got a lot going on here already, and I want to leave a little bit of white space. So I think I'll leave some of this, unless I think of something here in just a minute. We will put a few of those dots in here, and let's see if I can do something with this as well. I do like a bow behind it, coming out from behind it. I might do that. So I'm going to do a couple of fairly large strips. So there's a lot, I think there's a lot on here, so it's like I might as well use it, huh? And I'll add just a little bit more texture. And I think I'll do some on each one. We'll see. I may not use this much, but I really just think I want something behind it. So if instead of like actually doing a bow, I think I'm just going to try to. I could do. I don't know that I'm as skilled as some of these other girls that do their ribbon so pretty on the back of their sentiments. But let's see here. I want it to go that way. Probably just need a little bit. Play around with it a little bit. I won't really be able to see it a whole lot, but you know what? I'm probably just going to be better off actually tying a bow. I don't know. I don't know what I want to do with this. Now that I've started trying to tie a bow, it's not wanting to cooperate. Let's try another one. First, I'm going to, I do know I'm going to pop these up, so let's do that first. And maybe I think I might just do it kind of like that. As long as they're kind of under there, they're going to stick. There we go. I may have to trim it. Okay, there. I just didn't want to cover up their faces. It's my sister-in-law, Sarah. Let's do, I think I'm going to do something similar. just like that. But we'll put it down first and then put the dimensionals over top. That'll work much better. All right, then we can put this one right over here. Let me see if I can get this undone. If not, I'm just going to grab another piece. Think I can get it. There we go. Think kind of like this. There we go. I'm just using the dimensionals to kind of hold down the ribbon. I might push some of that back up in there and then trim off a little bit more of that. Oops. All right. And I think all I want to do, I'll have my journaling down here. So in my final photos, you'll see that down here. I'll probably go like right in here. So I'll leave a little bit of white space. And then let's adhere some of these in some different places. We have two different sizes. I think I'm going to, I'm just kind of trying to slide them off there. Whoops. Let's do a, there. Let's do definitely some down here. I don't want to slide off, then just pop them off like that. I think I'll do a little one right down here. I think that's it. That's just going to draw your attention more to that triangle formation. And I think that's it. Yeah, isn't that awesome? So you got two 4x6s and seven 3x4s. So these would be considered 3x4s. These would be 4x3s. And so I got a good representation, I think, of our day. There are all the guys after the big meal watching football, I'm sure. These are actually some pecan pies that we cooked the day before. My mom and Sarah and I got together and did all the desserts. And then we did the overnight, I think we did the overnight turkey at her house. That's usually how I cook mine, is overnight. So, all right. Thank y'all all so much for joining me and for commenting. If you have any questions, let me know. Don't forget that tonight is the last, let's see, what time is it? We have about 5 hours left for our 15% off stamp sale. All our stamps are 15% off. So the cling stamps, the photopolymer stamps. Be sure just to check the website. There's a link and it'll show you a page with all the stamps that are discounted 15% off, along with a few additional stamping tools, which include like the stamp chamois and the blocks. Some of the blocks are on 15% off, and a few other stamping tools. I think you have to go all the way to the last page on my computer. I think it was page 9. Maybe it was my phone. You may be able to see more of them on your computer screen. So if you have questions about any of that, let me know. I'd be happy to help you. Oh, and before I sign off, I got this yesterday and it actually coordinates, check that out, with this collection, the Autumn Toile. I haven't even opened up the actual packaging, but let me just give y'all a little sneak peek. I'll be playing with this a little bit over the weekend probably, but it has like a similar tree in it from the other stamp set that is included. Here we go. I was just trying to see if I could find it. You got the autumn trees and the amber autumn bundles that coordinate with this. We also have a die set that's exclusive to Paper Pumpkin subscribers, but you've got all those colors and that pretty toile design on a lot of the cards and the envelopes. So I guess I better wrap it up because Jeff's having a coughing fit. I don't know if y'all can hear that in the background, but there is the exclusive stamp set from the Paper Pumpkin. So I'm excited to use some of the papers, especially to go along with some alternate projects. With the Fall for Toile is what it was called. September 25 Paper Pumpkin Kit. So that's it for tonight, y'all. Thank you so much. Hope y'all enjoyed creating this page with me. And you know that you don't have to be an excellent colorer to be able to add some color to color in your stamps. You could have totally just stamped those in early espresso maybe and left them plain if you wanted to, but I just wanted to add some more pops of color to this because I really love this designer series paper right here and how the stamps in that Amber Autumn bundle coordinates so well. All right, I'm going to sign off. Hope y'all have a blessed evening. And until next time, bye.